Okay.
But, I mean, and this is the stuff that I've been running into all the time. I've even had, gone to a doctor, they end up with a $500 bill. I went ahead and said, well, look, they said, well, we won't cover this because this is not part of related to 9/11.
Yeah.
So I got cut off from my doctor. I couldn't get any of my, I had to go to an ER just to get my asthma taken care of.
To be honest with you, I don't know anything about that plan. I don't know anything about what you're talking about. I'm certainly happy to send me an email as I go on the journey. But I want to comment on healthcare in general, though. I am a believer that, and by the way, forget this nationalized healthcare. 83% of the country is happy with their healthcare and their insurance. We get the insurance premiums are too high. But there's a very, very simple way to beat that up and get them down. Even things that I've done, even in my business, that you can do even today, work. But you don't destroy the best healthcare system in the world, okay? Because, and that's what this guy's doing. By the way, it's all about control. This isn't about healthcare. You do know that.
Right.
There's nothing redeeming.
They want to control our lives.
But I believe in interstate purchasing of insurance.
Absolutely.
I believe in tort reform. I believe that's the biggest single issue.
Competition.
And I would even open this state up to additional insurance companies right now, because again, with me, you got a private sector guy. And I see we only got really 2 or 3 that we can deal with, and that's almost a monopoly. You don't have enough competition. So you do want to open it up to more insurance companies. I believe in catastrophic insurance for younger folks that are pretty healthy, where they can purchase catastrophic insurance. It shouldn't be mandated that they have to buy everything else. You know, they don't need, if they're a guy, they're not going to need a gynecologist. But you know.
There's a bill in the Senate by Senator Bradley, to open up the insurance across borders. And the folks in this room can help by emailing their representatives, their state senators, wherever you're from,
Good point.
to get behind that bill. It's exactly what you're talking about,
Yep.
to go across the state borders. It's ridiculous when folks can't do that.
Yeah. And I want to say one other thing about health care. This is directed at veterans. You know, I get a lot of people ask me, Jack, you know, if you become governor, would you be a proponent of a state-of-the-art VA hospital in New Hampshire? And they're surprised about that. I said, no, I'm not. I said, I'll tell you what I am in favor of. I'm a little partial to veterans. Because without them, we would have nothing. You carry a card that says you're a veteran, and you get the best health care at any damn hospital you want to walk into in the United States.
Why treat them inferior?
That's what McCain
That's
wanted
right.
to do.
Yes.
John wanted
That's
to do that.
exactly what I'll push for. And Frank Ginter, by the way, just to mention, I'm not endorsing Frank, but I will tell you, he also agrees with that. There may be others. I know Peter's here. I don't know, Peter, you agree with that too? Good. So, those are the things, at least involving healthcare, that I would do right away should I be elected. Yes?
I have a question. You're making promises. What makes you different than all the other governors that were elected that made the promises?
Well,
How can we feel that your promise is genuine?
I guess, and that's the best question of all, because you don't know. All right? It really comes down to if you really and truly believe that I'm coming from a different place than you. I'm telling you I am. This isn't about, you know what? I'll say it right here in front of you. I don't care if I get reelected, even if I do get elected. I don't care. I will do what's right for you every time, and I'll let you decide. You know, in the state of New Hampshire, there's only 2 states left, a 2-year term for governor. But not a long time. If you think about the mess we're in, I'm going to spend my whole first year just trying to get organized and get things going and get some legislation going and everything else. And then what do I got to do? Campaign? I'm just going to work my butt off. And my wife would tell you that's too late. But anyway, but you, go ahead.
One more thing. What advice would you give potential candidates that are running for town governor?
What advice would I give them?
Yes.
Well, first of all, don't bother running if you agree with spending and increase taxes.
And they don't. They want to cut. They want the town to be
Right.
turned over back.
That's
to
the first thing, is to make sure that they have the conservative values that you're gonna need in the town. The second thing is, be grounded in your principles. Be unwavering in those principles. Integrity, like I said, matters. And those are the kinds of people you want elected. They don't have to have experience. That's what's gotten us into this mess. Get some fresh blood in there. Get some people that understand what's happened to our country that will change the dynamic.
Because
That's what I think.
the two that are running for the town of Raymond are the two that are sitting next to me. And they're conservative people that they want the town to be turned back over to the town's people. And they don't have agendas. So what other advice would you give them?
What you're telling me is very good. And I think that they should run. That's where it's got to start. Listen, folks, I'm learning every day. I have a lot more to learn as I go, but I'm unafraid. I am unafraid. Don't be afraid. Because quite frankly, it's not rocket science. You know, you can learn anything. So jump in, get your feet wet, but get in for the right reasons. And understand that it changes your life. It's a sacrifice, no question about it. It really is.
Thank you.
Jack, like you said before, you gotta hold their feet to the fire. And it's one thing that I've always said about Scott Brown. He said what he'll do. If he gets there and he does what he said, you don't have to worry about campaigning for that second.
That's
Right,
kind of what I'm
that's
saying to you. It's not gonna change. I agree with you. And that's how you're gonna know. And you're gonna know pretty quickly. Yes.
By what standard will you judge what's right for the rest of us? I'll ask the question a different way.
Okay.
A piece of legislation lands on your desk. How will you decide whether or not you're going to support it or not? What standard will you apply?
Well, that's a broad question. I mean,
No,
you
there's
have
a
to,
very concise answer to that.
well, but you can't get, let's get specific. Give me one or two items that you are absolutely passionate about.
Any bill,
Any bill at all?
Any bill at
And
all
obviously you
lands
have to
on
do
your
your homework
desk.
and
What's
see-
the
Trying to get
first
him
thing
to
you
say
need to do
Constitution.
when you look at that piece of legislation?
Oh, read it, of course.
You've read it. Now how
Read
do you
it, and then what
decide?
you do is you bring in people that are experts around you and have them read it too, and we
No.
sit down and discuss it and come up with the pros and cons. But
Everybody
I'll
at
give you the
once.
answer. You open the owner's manual. And the owner's manual is the state constitution.
oh, you just heard me earlier tell you, I will uphold the U.S. and state constitution. I said it,
That's
so
your
there's no question.
standard that's your standard for judging whether or not you have the authority
I will tell you
to do
right here and now,
something
yes,
for
it
me.
will be. Absolutely.
And that local folks need to apply that to local government as well.
I agree.
It's not a matter of what's in your heart, because what's in your heart may not be in mine. Just like we don't want Obama giving us our health care. That's in his heart. It certainly ain't in mine that I want him to give me my
No,
health care.
I
we
agree
agree with
with you.
that.
Apologize for wearing purple.
And I apologize for wearing purple.
It doesn't have a big SEIU on it. Go ahead.
Two questions. First, do you think America and New Hampshire as a state could benefit from a strong third party? Because I'm honestly
No,
fed up with
no,
both
no.
parties.
No, and here's why. No, listen, this is a good question, folks, it really is, because this is part of what's going on around the country. People are talking about, because they're so frustrated, a third party. A third party, in my view, is gonna guarantee that Obama stays in.
Absolutely.
What we have to do is take back this party and make it what it should be.
And strengthen it.
We will keep winning if we do that.
Only one way. That's the problem today, we have got a third party, it's socialism.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's bringing up a good point. Listen, we now know, based on your reaction earlier to my comment about Glenn Beck, a lot of you watch him. He is so good about, I mean, he really is. He gets it right down. Right